Hello everyone, welcome to video lecture on software architecture and design pattern. Today we are going to discuss third module, design pattern catalog. So here these constraints would suggest creating each expensive object on demand. So when an image becomes visible, we had seen that in the previous videos. What are the drawbacks that one? Why we need this proxy design pattern. But what we do with the document in the place of image, how we hide the image is created on the domain. But we have a great solution to use the another object instead of that original that image. We should have an image proxy. So that this act as a stand-in for the actually real image. So proxy act as a like the image and take care of the instantaneity when it's required. So that is the specialty of the proxy design pattern. Okay. Now here come to the this object documentation part. The image proxy which create a real image only when the document editor ask it to display itself by invoking whenever it's a draw operation until unless which will not do anything. So the thing is when it is asked to display whenever that document editor or the original image is if it is not in the proper format, so we should go with this proxy design pattern. Another thing is the proxy forward the subsequent request directly to the image. Which part of the image has been replaced or placehold, particularly surrogate in the particular part of the document. So directly that proxy forward the subsequent request to the directly to the images. So here we can see that a text document assume that operation of that image and an image proxy will be created here. File name should have that one. Here data particular an image particular on disk. So this should be in the we should keep it in the memory. So this is the actual diagrammatical representation or structural diagram of the motivational example here. The extent let proxy respond to corresponding to its size from the formatter without actually instantiating the image. So here the following is the class diagram. This is the class diagram which illustrate this example in we can say it is a more detailed. This is the assume that this document editor or the client will have this one or expect. So graphics is the main class with under we have this draw operation, get extent operation, store operation, load operation, and followed by subclasses of this graphics is image subclasses and image proxy subclasses. So this image class will have again draw operation, get extent operations, and one more is store operations, similarly load operations, and get extent will be there image imp extent. So similarly this image proxy will have the same similar of that one file name will have the extent here. So this again this all the two operations another two operations draw image might be and get extent operation will have the draw image will have if image equal to this will be searched in the hard disk or in the disk of that one. The image equal to load image file name where load image will be if it equal to 0 or if it is exist nothing will be taken here. So if it equal to 0 then we are going to load the image from the hard disk to the actual memory. So draw the images. Similarly get extent here image equal to return the extent else and image equal to already we have that get extent. So this is the way we have taken this the document. This is the main what we say that this is the document editor part in the main class diagram of in the image proxy design. So here one point we need to be consider, the document editor always access embedded image through what interface defined by the abstract graphic class. So we are calling it as this in graphics class or abstract, usually abstract class. And image proxy is a class. This image proxy is subclasses for an image that are created on the demand, based on the extended demand whenever it is required. So image proxy which maintains the file name for extent. So file name reference to the image on the disk. We had seen the, we had showed as load image where we need to take it from the disk. Similarly, so image proxy also stores the bounding box of the image and reference to the real image instance. This is the real image classes. This is the image proxy extent. Okay. So that here draw operation which makes sure that image instantiated before forwarding the particular request. So get extent forward the request to the image only if it is instantiated. Whenever it is this instantiated only which will going to act. Otherwise image proxy returns the extent to here, image proxy return to the extent it stores, so it will not perform again. So this is about this what is the structural diagrammatical representation of motivational example. So this is again continue with this this the we have taken that is document act editor access the image through the graphical class. Image proxy is a class for the image that are created on the demands. Okay, so it maintains the particular reference to the image on the disk that we have taken. Next, applicability. So this the proxy uh, design pattern is applicable whenever there is a need for a more versatile. We say that versatile in the case sophisticated reference to an object than a simple pointer. So such cases the application is required. So here there are common situations we have found out in the proxy design pattern. There are several common situations in which the proxy pattern is applicable. So we have taken listed out here. The first one is we have taken a remote proxy provide. So this is the remote proxy. This is the case will be used, which provides a local representative for an object in a different address space. For example, in next step that we have the use classes nx proxy for this purpose. There are the we have a cop92 or copilian calls this kind of proxy in the ambassador. So whenever that is required, that is we are going to applicable. There are some situations will be considered. Another one, a virtual proxy create an expensive object on demand. So this is the great thing here. What is the common situation when the pattern, this proxy pattern is applicable here. Virtual proxy creates the expensive object demand. The image proxy described in the motivation example of such example we need to consider. We had already taken this particular example. Okay. So next is protection proxy. Protection proxy controls access to the original object, where we need to consider here what it does actually protection proxy. So this protection proxy control the access to the original object. So whenever the protection proxies are useful, when we say it is very useful when the object should have different access right. For example, one example we can kernel proxies in the operating system in the choice of the operating systems like CIRM93, that is the one of the operating system which provide protected to access the operating system in the especially object. And the one more we have that the fourth one is a smart reference. Another one common situation is a smart reference is a replacement for a bare pointer that performs the additional actions when an object is accessed. So what type of typical what is the typical uses. Uses include counting the number of reference to the real object so that it can be feed, or it can be freed automatically. You can say that when there are more reference, you can call it as a smart pointer, that is the EDB92 which comes. So another part here, this typical uses includes smart reference is loading a persistent object into memory when the first reinforced, and checking the real object is locked before access to the. So this is a locket mechanism will be considered. So after this, find what is the common, we had discussed several common situation in which the proxy design pattern which is applicable. So next part we are going to take it structure. So that is the structural part will be considered. What is the structure of the actual skeleton part of the proxy design? So this is the structure or proxy skeleton, structural part of the proxy design pattern. So that's the thing, we have this what the client expect, and subject, we have taken request based upon real subject. This is the image, real image proxy. This is the extended get request of the extended party, get extended request subject was real subject will be coming to here. So this we had seen in the previous diagram, that is the this is our image. It is the image proxy, and this is the graphics, the main abstract classes. So this is the real structure of the proxy design pattern. So this is followed by next one is participant. So we will have to see the what and all the participant of this proxy design pattern. So the first one is proxy. We say that image proxy. So what does it? Image proxy, we know that what it does in the participant part, which image proxy will maintains reference that lets proxy access in the real subject whenever it is required. So it may be referred to the subject if the real subject or interface are the, in case of the both same. And real that image proxy provides a interface which is identical subject. A proxy can be substituted for the real subject cases whenever the we have to substitute for the real image to the proxy image, that cases this is going to act it. And what it does again, which control the real subject to maybe responsible for creating and deleting it, and other responsibilities also depending upon the kind of the proxy, like remote proxies we had discussed about, are responsible for encoding a request and its what is that one argument, whatever sending the encoded request to subject of the actual the address space. Similarly, virtual proxy can maybe cache the additional information about all the real subject. For example, from the motivation cache, real image extend. Similarly, protection proxies check all the caller access for the promotion. And another one is subject. So subject participant, you can consider the graphics, okay, or graphic, which defines a common interface of the real subject and proxy, so that proxy can be used anywhere in the real subject expected. Another one is the real subject. So that is the image which defines the real object of the proxy. What is that? It indicates that a proxy represents. So next template section is the collaboration. So what collaborations made this proxy design pattern? So that we need to consider. Actually, the one major collaborations of this proxy design pattern is proxy forward the request to a real subject when appropriate, or you can say depending on the kind of the proxy, what kind of the proxy will be taken. So that collaboration need to be considered here. Proxy forward request to real subject when it is an appropriate case. Whenever it is appropriate, that depending on the kind of the proxy, either image proxy or text or anything that we need to take with the most collaborations of this proxy design pattern. So the next one is implementation. So here we need to consider proxy pattern can exploit the following language features. So one is while implementation we need to consider this how it is going to exploit there are language features. First one, overloading the member access operator in C++. So we know that C++ support overloading operator, that is the overloading operator concept, member access operator, overloading this operator, what we have to whenever the object is deferred. So this can be, we can say, helpful for implementing some kind of proxy. So that's why this we can consider, this can exploit that one, particularly when implementing proxy design pattern. So the proxy behaves like a pointer, so that we need to consider. So here there are certain examples we have taken here, not texted here. There are illustrating point is very simple. Virtual proxy called, we can call it an image pointer, class image, class image pointer. So here load an image file from the hard disk, or the this is called an external function. Class pointer will have a public, again a image pointer. So pointer will be overloading operation, will be counting here, and load image will be private, again with the file. So like that, load image, all these things. So this we need to exploit it, image proxy in the C++, especially in the C++ languages. So this is the issue will be considered in the image, this proxy implementation of the image proxy. So notice here what we say, that image proxy act as like as a pointer, but it is not declared to be a pointer to an image. It is act as a pointer, but we have not actually declared to be the particular pointer to an image. So this we need to consider. And overloading member access operation is not a good solution to every kind of proxy. That is the we say that proxies need to know precisely which operation is called, and overloading member access operator, it doesn't work in the particular cases. So considering virtual proxy example, in the motivational example we had that one. So the image should be loaded in a specific time only, then it is counted. Or when the draw operation, whenever we called, whenever image is referenced, so that is need to be taken in the implementation issues. Similarly here, second point, using uh, using does not understand. So this is the word we have to using, does not understand, in the small talk. So small talk is one of the object oriented languages. So here small talk provides a particular hook that you can use the support automatic forwarding request whenever the client asks that particular part. Actually small talk calls does not understand. This is the small talk language statement. So a message, when a client send a message to a receiver that has no corresponding method. So actually the proxy class can redefine. So we say that it does not understand, so that message is forwarded to its subject who requested that. So this is the thing, this is the implementation issue. We say that what is that one, proxy structural design pattern, to ensure that a request is always forwarded to the subject, or not just absorbed by the proxy. We say that you can, or we can define the proxy class, it doesn't understand any messages. So in the small talks, what it does actually lets you do this by proxy as a class who will having a super class. So we have a one added advantage, main advantage and we have a major disadvantage also. Here disadvantage is doesn't understand, so that is the in the small talk. So is the most small talk system have a few special messages that are handled directly by the virtual machine. It depends on all the type of the how we can handling by the virtual machine itself. So one more point again, it is very lengthy to describe that one, explain. I will make it short. Proxy doesn't always have to know the type of the real subject. It doesn't mean that if a proxy class can deal with its subject solely through an abstract interface, there is no need to make a proxy class for each real subject classes. We had taken as an image proxy example in the motivational. Actually, proxy can deal with real classes, which is all the uniformly, but a proxy are going to instantiate a real, we can say that a virtual proxy. So they have to know that particular concrete classes. So another implementation issue also involve how to refer the subject before it's instantiated in the proxy cases. Some proxies we say that it is always referred to their subject, whether it's on always it's on a disk or it's on memory, so that we need to be considered. So these are the issues will be considered in the when we are applying the implementing the issues will be considered in the proxy design pattern. So that is the issues will be considered in the proxy design pattern. So next we'll have the last part is the again sample code. Again the sample code is a virtual proxy are going to implement, that is the graphical class reference of that one. Not taken the segment of the code here. Sample code is the actually code to implement two kind of the proxy here. We know that one is the virtual proxy what we described in the motivation section, and one more is the proxy which are implemented does not understand the level implementation part. So first was the virtual proxy. We know that graphic class defines in the interface for the object. So we had a graphics class draw, handle, mouse, event, and point, get, extend, load the image from to and save. So this all this will we have taken the graphics class. So image class here implement the graphics interface to display the particular image. We say that image override handle the particular mouse image or whatever the interactive. So the here class image public should be in the public. How we are going to take the void virtual will be defined. Similarly, virtual draw and virtual handle mouse event, so that constant get extent will be taken. So like that image proxy has the same interface as the images. Similar way constructor also applied to the name of the file to store the initialize the get instant and as images. So similar way the code is fully proxy that use the class does not understand. This is the way how we can take the message self real subject message will be taken. Similarly, the last part noun users. So what is the type of the noun users here? Virtual proxy. Example in the motivational section is we are from the ET plus text building blocks classes. This is the one noun users. And next NEXT STEP, that ADD94. This proxy uses a proxies instance of class NX proxy as a local representative for object which that may be distributed. So it depends on the a server create a proxies for a remote object when a client whenever they request them. So based upon the request them. So another also here on receiving message, again the proxy encodes it along with that argument, or then forward the encoded message to the remote subject. Similarly, so we say that encoded or any result which always send back to the NX proxy object. So the last part is there any related pattern? So proxy design pattern, related pattern. So an adapter provides a different interface to the object it adapts. So that adapter design pattern is almost all related to the proxy design pattern. In contrast, proxy may which provides the same interface as its subject. So we know that, however, proxy used for accessing the protection of might refuse to perform the an operations. Particularly, we say that operation of the subject will going to perform. Even though another related pattern which are related to this proxy design pattern is decorator. This decorator can have a similar implementation as a proxy decorators have that, which decorators have a different purpose but almost similar implementation to the proxy design purpose. So a decorator add one more responsibilities to an object, whereas proxy controls the access to an object. This is the major difference, almost related to that. And similarly, this is the particularly related patterns of the proxy design patterns. So this is the end of this proxy structural design pattern of all in the template wise we have discussed. So this ends the third module of structural design pattern. We have started with adapter design pattern, bridge, composite, and so on, decorator, like that. So we have ended with all the proxy design pattern.